Welcome YouTube, welcome everyone. Welcome to the 15th edition of the Home Theater Hub. As usual, got my co-host Mr. Ike. What's going on, Ike?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Very well, very well. Thank you for asking.
Good.
So, what what's new in Ike's world this week? Does Ike's been busy or has Ike been working on theaters?
Um, well, more like trying to clean up the theater, but I've been busy, so you guys
Well, we got a
finally.
treat for you guys tonight. Ike is
Yep.
actually going to give us a theater tour of what is the name of your theater, Ike? Do you have a special name?
Just the Easy Home Theater. That's where
Easy
the
HD
name
Home
came
Theater, I
from.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
That's kind of where
So
the name came from, just something easy home theater. So we'll stick with that.
okay. So we're gonna get a preview of Ike's Theater today. And as usual, we have our third co-host along with another guest today. We got Mr. Paul in the house. Mr. Paul, what's going on, sir?
Hello, same old, same old. Just hanging in there. I'm excited for new guests.
Very good, very good. Those of
Yeah.
you that don't know, we got Mr. Scott Newby in the house. What's going on, Scott?
What is going on, fellas? Thanks for having me on this evening. It's certainly a pleasure to be here and hang out with you guys. I just got to hang out with Ike on Sunday, so it's cool to hang out with the other boys tonight too.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
it
I
was
actually
good.
watched that episode. Shouldn't say this, but on my way home from Orlando, I had the phone playing, listening to it in one ear, but and driving along. So that was a great episode. For those of you that don't know, Scott hosts a channel, Living It with Scott and Kat, on YouTube, and he talks about on Friday nights. He has a special session to where he talks AV, and then what is the other night that you and your wife do the talking about travel and whatever else is on your guys' mind.
Yeah, we randomly, depending on how my schedule looks, but on Wednesday nights we'll hop on. Like we'll be on next Wednesday night. Just we travel around a lot, go to like Mexico, Vegas, try out new restaurants around Chicago where we live a lot. And we just kind of get on and talk a little bit of just kind of what's going on in our life. Are we allowed to cuss on this channel?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay.
you
I
are.
would say we talk a lot of shit between the two of us on there, and we give each other a hard time and just have a good laugh. I didn't want to offend anybody. Some channels I got to really watch my mouth, so I didn't want to
Hey, we're
step on
not
anybody's toes.
monetized yet, so um, you know we're trying to get there. We're trying to get to your status. As a matter of fact, congratulations on 2,000 subscribers already. What your how many episodes in are you?
On Friday night, I believe I'm around. I think tomorrow night when I'm on with you will be like my 15th or 16th episode, and her and I are on our 10th. And I've dropped a handful of videos and some shorts, and yeah, I mean, just I've known a lot of guys for a really long time, and then just doing. I literally how it worked for me is every night I was laying in bed and Kat's like, "Who are you talking to now?" Because every night I'd be flooded with questions from people about subwoofers, tuning, like room layouts and stuff like that. So every night I would end my night for an hour trying to get back to people. And so when I hung out with Youthman when he came and stayed a few days, and I showed him, I said, "Yeah, these guys are just messaging me like nonstop, that." And I love the hobby, I love to chat it. And he goes, "Dude, just start a channel. If you're going to answer all the questions anyway, if one person has that question, 100 people probably have that question."
Exactly.
So yeah, I figured, what the heck, man, let's just go on. But I'm already drawn so much away from family as it is because I help run a emergency plumbing and sewer service in Chicago for the last 25 since I was 15. It's the only job I've ever had. So for 25 years, but it keeps me away from my family a lot. So I told her, I said, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it with you. So at least it gives us something that we can do together. I don't want to have to take an hour or two a week away from you that I'm already not getting. So she was cool with it, nervous, but yeah, I mean, we just have a good time, That's all. That's all it is. That's all it's about. We're not pushing no agendas or anything like that. Just go on here, talk some shit for an hour, have a good time, and wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean that's great that you have been able to achieve such a high, I guess, subscription count already on your channel. you know, I've been doing this for a little bit, and I think I'm only at close to 600, but I'm not consistent at it, right? You're doing
Yeah.
this on a consistent basis. Ike is
I have
just
a lot
started
of
doing.
people over. We host. I mean, probably in the last 4 years, we've probably had 400 or 500 people over. We got people that fly in to check out the theater or drive in. So people, they just want to keep in communication or see what's going on, or you know, I get into some more of the extreme stuff. So people just kind of want to see like some more extreme stuff, I guess. So maybe they just want to check out that. And to be honest with you, probably 15% of people just want to get on there to call me stupid, which is fine too. I appreciate the view. I don't. It's
I
it is
mean, it
what
is
it
a
is.
little
But
crazy.
I
I
think
Hey,
it's
mean,
good though.
you got to admit that's a little crazy.
negative press pays also, right?
Oh yeah, any press is good press,
Any
right? But
press is
yeah,
definitely good press. So
I can't imagine a home with as much DB as you're putting out. I've my dad had a recording, and did live concerts, and obviously in a live concert you're putting out tons of DB, but in a house. And I've done car audio competitions, and it's man, I just can't imagine that in a house. Like,
Yeah,
oh
our
dear
whole goal with this last build is we wanted to build something that legitimately scares you when you're sitting in there.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're already at that point. Now you're
Yeah.
literally trying to, yeah. It's pretty wild,
Well,
and
Scott
it
just
is
recently
fun.
had some videos to where he was putting his wife to the test.
I know,
What was
right?
the maximum SPL that you put out for with her sitting in the room?
The most that she's experienced so far, because we're going to do another video next month, and obviously she's doing this with earplugs. But on the last video, we pushed her to 149,
Wow.
and
Wow.
then the next one will be at that 150 to 152 range.
And that was all LFE, or was that
Yeah,
what mix?
just LFE, because the meter that I use comes from Car Audio Competition. It only measures under 100 hertz.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I watched those videos too, and that was pretty incredible. You got the I like how you have the decibel meter sitting like right next to the seat there.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. So, but yeah, it's we really appreciate you coming on the show. We are actually going to schedule Scott to do a home theater tour and just chit chat and everything else. But like I said, Scott, you're welcome to hang out with the show for as long as you want, or cut out whenever you want. But we're
So
going to go ahead and get diving into it.
I have a question before we dive in.
Sure.
Scott, have you thought about maybe creating a, because there's been competition in car audio.
Mhm.
What about like a DV drag and starting that as a part of your channel for home theater, and then that's where you could do like Michael and go to these places and like authenticate, and because you got to make sure everything's calibrated, blah 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 blah, because that was like in car audio, that was a big thing, right? It's like, oh, people would say, oh, I can hit 160 dB until they got to the competition, and they spend like 20 minutes setting up the microphone, first of all, and you're like, oh god, and then you start the competition, and it's like, oh yeah, you're only hitting 130 there, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
I could,
the only issues I would have, well, there's a few issues that I would have with that is well, one is obviously traveling all over just to do that. I mean, the time probably get expensive quickly too, but the time,
yeah,
I just recently applied for the world's loudest home theater in the Guinness Book of World Records, and I got shot down because it isn't an actual entry. If you Google loudest home theater in the world, it comes up this guy with this multi-million-dollar system, but his room is absolutely huge. I purpose built my room small for what I was planning on doing with it. So they Guinness Book of World Records said, well, you can pay a $5 fee if you want to do a new entry in the book. So I sent it in home theater, loudest home theater. They sent back, we denied that, we're not interested in adding that. So the guy that actually has the loudest home theater, it's only portrayed on the internet as that under the Guinness Book of World Records, it's as the world's loudest gaming system. I said, well, I got a PS5 in my room, so I put an application in for world's loudest gaming system. Then they sent me back a denial that entry, that they're no longer taking applications for that. So whoever has that just has that indefinitely. I
Uh,
Mhm.
like your idea on that. And if people wanted to do something like the honor system, because the meter that I use
Yeah, you can do that as well.
is tuned by TermLab. So if everybody agreed to use the same meter, that's about the cheapest meter you can get that they use at like big base events. That's actually measured by TermLab specs, and they run like $280.
Oh, that's
So
not
I
too
mean, well,
bad.
it's not too crazy, and it's easy to read out that people could see. So if everybody that wanted to do something like that put it right around their headrest area and wanted to do something like that, I mean, I would be all for doing something like that. But to actually physically go to everybody's house,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I don't,
That would be a
yeah,
future thing, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's an idea. I'll
Well,
have
because I
to.
know there's guys out there louder than me. They just don't care to promote it like I do. I mean, I've
Oh,
been to guys' houses, that got literally 2021s in their room, and
that's crazy.
they don't even do Atmos setup. It's just literally two speakers and just subwoofers all around. My thing is I wanted to do the loudest Dolby Atmos home
See,
theater.
now that's what would make it fun for me because my thing is everybody says, "Oh, you don't have 5 hertz. You don't even have a home theater." And I'm like, "What are
Yeah.
you talking about, bro?"
Yeah.
Like, like, okay, whatever. Like, now if you're just talking, hey, I'm trying to get the loudest bass because that's what I want to do. It's like, well, yeah, I used to do that in car audio, so
See,
but we
I
also
mean,
had to do.
there's an interest in this for sure because, like, if you as car audio guy, I follow Steve Mead. Pretty much all his channel is just huge car systems that he's built and like blowing people's hair around. I mean, he's at like 1.2 million subscribers right now.
Yep. Hmm.
So there's an interest for loud noises.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a phenomenon that we all know sound, which is what makes it interesting. But to get the impact and feel that sort of dB, right? That is insane. And you'll have to look it up. The volcano that had that created 300 decibels, I think.
Mhm. Yeah,
It was
somebody
it
shared
was
that story with me before a few times.
Yeah, that like it was heard from thousands of miles and like
wow.
cracked like the earth
But I'm
and stuff.
just doing this for fun. I mean, people take
Yeah,
it as
yeah.
a huge competition, and I mean, I invite people over to come hang out for the day for people that want to experience it. If somebody, I go listen. I go to probably at least 20 or 30 home theaters a year myself. I don't. It don't. I just like, man. I'll come and have a beer with you. Let's order a pizza. Let's watch a movie. I don't care.
Right.
Some people they take it really personal, and I don't understand why. I mean, everybody. I mean, I always tell everybody it's a hobby. If you're having a good time, then you're doing the hobby justice. That's all that really matters to
Yeah,
me.
yep.
Yep.
And
That's
that
what I
same
like
same
about
with me.
what
And
you
we all have our, if don't ask for an opinion if you don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I like
if
about
you ask me, I'd be like,
is that you know you recognize that you don't need what a system like you have to be considered a home theater, or you
yeah,
you always preach that, look, I'm doing this because this is what I want, but by no means is this what you absolutely need. So that's one thing I want. That's a great message that I like, that you
yep.
portray on your channel, and you
Only
stand.
one that has the capability that you have that's said, well, I don't ever actually use this. I'm doing this for fun. I'm not watching a movie at
Yep.
150 decibel. I was like, oh, that guy's actually saying the truth. It's like, yeah,
Oh,
I'd never
Pat,
listen to
Pat
my
was hopping
car
on
at
the
full
chat.
volume.
Hey, Kat, we're gonna get you on here soon. Thanks for
So,
thanks for jumping in the chat. Just want to say hi to Kanga, Siphonics Audio. I actually met Kanga in person at the Florida Audio Expo. It was great meeting him for for unfortunately the 5 minutes that we both had. But love to hang out with him another
Oh,
time.
well, you got to give it to Kanga if he can hang around you for 5 minutes. That's a
Yeah,
that's
that's a
got to
lot
be a
of
record,
time.
ain't it?
That was a record for anybody to hang around me, right? Exactly.
That's a lot of time. But talking about Florida audio, tell us about your experience. Your 2 hours you spent there. How was it?
Oh goodness. So you know, plans don't always go as expected, right? So on Friday morning, expected to wake up, be out of the house by 8 o'clock, ready to go, so that I can head to Tampa, which is about a 3.5, 4 hour track for me. And but when you have a wife, a kid, and mother-in-law trying to pack, getting ready for Disney and everything else, also on the tail end of the trip, it doesn't ever go as well as you think. So by the time we leave, it's 10:30 instead of 8 o'clock, and by the time I get there, it's 4 o'clock, and the audio expo is closing at 6. So didn't have a ton of time there, but did have a good time for my for my experience there. So um, I went there for a couple brands. I guess I misread the form, but I wanted to go there and look at Next Level because they have a good in-wall sub that I had mentioned in the last show that Todd from AV Nirvana actually reviewed, and I wanted to see if they had something like that there. Well, Next Level is actually a hi-fi shop. Um, out of I forgot where they're out of, but they were actually sponsoring a bunch of speakers. So there's apparently Next Level Acoustics and Next Level Audio, and I didn't realize they were two separate companies.
Oh,
So, but I did
okay.
get to go there and listen to some of Next Levels. They were putting on the show, in a couple different rooms, and got to listen to some very high end speakers there, and yeah, I got some pictures. Let me share a couple pictures. We'll just thumb through these very quickly. Let's see. Share screen.
Yep. Go ahead. Pull that up. Yep.
So this is the first room that I went to. Super, super high end speakers. Everything looked really, you know, very high end. I don't know. I think these are the Borsons speakers. I can't remember, but it was just it was a great room. I liked this LED effect that they had behind the screen there. It was as like a backer for a screen. It was pretty cool that they had that set up in there. That was in the Cypress room. These are the speakers that I talked about, the MBLs that last.
Yes, those are some crazy engineered speakers that
Yeah, they I mean they just
those
sounded.
blow my mind right there. I'm like, man, now that's
They
different.
and the thing about this is this company actually, as you can see, they brought their own diffusion over here on the
Oh,
back on the right hand side of the picture. They had a bunch of rolling carts of diffusion. That's not the right picture. Why is that going to that? Let's see here. That's not what we were looking for. Um, what happened to my tab here?
Man, aren't you on a aren't you on a Mac? You should have albums set up.
Yeah, I did, but that's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
wondering what happened because I forwarded it all to an album. Go ahead and unshare this.
so but
text message.
what are those on the floor though? What are those 2 units on the floor?
Those are custom amplifiers for that particular for
Oh wow.
MBL.
Those are the static reducers.
Yeah, those are quite expensive. Let me see
And
what's going
what
on
is
here with
that?
my
So what is that made of? The glass looking stuff on the speaker, is that what material? Any idea what that material is?
I'll be
Makes
honest with you. I didn't look into that. I just thought these speakers were, when I heard them, they were amazing. When I heard them at Expona, and then heard them again in this room, and they were amazing. I don't know what they're actually made out of. We can look it up
The
when.
surrounds, are you talking about on the base there at the top of the pyramid before the actual speaker portion? That
um
looks like some sort of crystal glass or
Yeah,
something, and
that's
then
what
it
I'm
looks like
thinking, and I'm like,
yeah, then it
crystal
looks like some
glass.
sort of well, I don't know, beryllium or aluminum,
Yeah, I think that's Reynolds aluminum foil, isn't
Yeah, there you
it?
Reynolds,
It's the heavy duty aluminum foil though, right?
That would be crazy.
Or maybe it's titanium, thin titanium or something. But yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's
we'll look them up you can pull them up if you want to pull them up. Paul, we can share share your screen. It's MBL. These are the Dutch and Dutch speakers that I spoke about. They actually sounded amazing, to be honest with you. They were really, really, really sounded good. This is a little side view of them. They're pretty large too. They're probably about the size. They're deeper than the Arendelles, the studio monitors.
Yeah.
The tall ones that they had at M Wave. They're about the same height as those, but the cabinet was a lot deeper. So they actually sounded really, really, really well. Okay, so this is the a little bit of the specs that they had there. You can see the very linear frequency response that they had. This is something very cool that I walked into the room I was not expecting. It's called Subdrum, and what this guy does is he takes drum kits and
now
actually
that is cool as all get out there. That
yeah, so he actually takes drum kits and there's no bracing behind the speaker at all. It's literally the speakers are literally just attached to the skin of the drum. So they sounded really cool. They weren't very expensive, for what there is here.
I
It's
mean, if you're talking about artist intent, I mean, you know how you make bass with a kick drum. I mean,
exactly.
so I mean, you're getting pretty close there.
Yeah. So this was pretty cool. They sounded really good. Um, I think for like this, I don't hold me to this, but I think the drum on the right was like maybe $2,000. It came with the amp and came with everything, ready to be assembled. And I think the one on the left, I believe that was somewhere around $3,000. But it's called some Sub Drum, so go check him out. It was a great setup. And then there's another system. There's actually in the middle here, I think it's an 18-inch woofer, and then they use the two speakers hanging from that rack system there to as the mids and highs. So it was really cool to walk into something different. You know what I mean? This is the Dream Media room to where they set up a 5.2 system. All per listens. They had the D212s there, so they weren't the big boys, but they definitely got a warning from the audio show, and they had to, when you walked into the room, you could see their decibel meter set up so that they didn't go over 95 decibels because they early in the show they got a warning.
How do
So
you
they
get a
kind of got in
warning at
trouble.
an audio show?
You could hear those D15, the D212s. You can hear them like 3 and 4 floors up. That's how much they were pushing.
It's crazy.
And of course, per listen, I enjoy their speakers. Just got to make sure you stay on access with them. If you stand up or whatever, you do start to hear, a little bit of. You get out of the on axis sound. Now this room was awesome, man. I don't know the name. The Siren Loudspeakers is the name of the speaker, but check out that amp in the middle. It looks like an alien, man. It's just awesome. They were playing all their music off of reel to reel.
Okay, I was gonna say, are those reel to reels or are those made to look like reel to reels?
Yeah, and that's what I asked him. I asked him, what kind of bit rate he was getting. He's like, no, these are all analog, right? I said, okay, because they looked kind of digital to me, so I thought you maybe you had a DAC or something in there, but this room was very cool. I mean, just everything different. Speakers are kind of shaped like a lady, as you can see, and that's what their intent was. I don't know if I sent some pictures. Michael had he had a post on Facebook, and I added these. So I think Kanga was going to get to this room. So, but yeah, it was definitely very interesting.
Kanga, I think
Ah,
Kanga put some name in the
that's
chat.
nice. I
Is
love
it
that. That's a
Metaxas and Scenes or something like that? I don't know if that's the name, but
only Kanga said the only speakers with butt cheeks. That's
Yes, exactly that.
like,
So
hey man, you could have some, butt cheeks and cleavage right there on those. And
yeah,
everybody'd buy a pair, right? They
that
do
yep.
look
so
very exotic. They're
Yeah.
not my style, but I totally appreciate the looks. It's a very like mid-century kind of pencil skirt type of, figure, if you
Man,
would.
it looks like something that will scare me in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that thing in the middle looks to me like that bug on the mummy that gets the roach-looking thing that
Yep.
gets up into your skin and starts eating you from the inside out. That's what that looks like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I might wake up in the middle of the night and just break them. Like, what? What
The
was that?
reel-to-reels look cool though.
I
I'm
have
like,
another
that's
picture that didn't upload yet. I want to see what's going on with that, but I'll try to upload that right now. It was definitely, it was in the same room. So let me see if I can add that. But it was it's a headphone amp, and it was really really cool. Let me see if I can find that on my phone so that I can dig this up. But these that reel to reel, I believe it was close to $45,000 for that reel to reel.
Oh,
oh
wow.
wow. Yeah, see now you're pulling out the cheap guy, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee you the reels that were used to make the audio to put on that weren't that much.
Right.
That's
And I was asking them, I
crazy.
said, where are you getting content for this? Where are you? And they were talking about there are some that you can actually record on, so you can transfer your collection onto the reel to reel. And he said there's a company out of Germany that's actually making some content for this too.
Mm.
So
Mm.
Yeah, so that's why probably if you put anything on that, you're basically having to buy the license per copy. So that's probably why. I mean, they got to compensate for that. Cause yeah, they don't make reel to reels anymore that I'm aware of production wise. I mean, you can
yeah,
still get them for recording and stuff like that, I think.
Wait, the speakers are 128K? Wow.
yeah. They're let me see.
That
I have another picture. I don't know why not my
that is
pictures couldn't upload.
crazy,
A
man.
piece or a pair?
It better not be a piece.
MSRP
Well,
is 128.
I already got a woman with nice skirts that cost me a lot of money. I don't need speakers that
yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Wait till you see this other one that I'm going to show you here that I thought was very interesting. Let me go back here and see if I can find this other picture here. Let's see, home theater build.
Yeah,
Come on.
that would be crazy if it was 128K for a single.
Yeah, it's not. Go ahead and
Well,
stop sharing for now. We'll come back to it.
those MBLs were whatever they were a piece, 100 or 180 or whatever. That was a piece or something
Yeah,
like that.
but I guess most of these are usually 2-channel speakers, right? So you're not gonna have to buy 6 or 7 or 10 of them for your home theater space. If you're gonna buy, you're just gonna buy them and put for a 2-channel setup.
You're
So
still not selling me on the idea. Like,
I mean, I mean,
Hey,
I'm trying
you
to be
know what?
logical about it, but
It's like having 130 or 150 dB of bass.
Yeah.
It's all on what you like. And you know what?
Hey,
Someone that's buying those speakers, I guarantee you don't give a crap about what they sound like. They're going for what looks the most artistic to me.
and I would go listen to them because I'm a fan of
yeah,
everything. If
I'll
somebody
listen.
yeah.
bought them,
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
go over there and listen to them. No doubt.
Yeah, let me share this. I was able to upload this. This is
And they
pretty fun.
probably sound amazing, and
No, they were actually
they
sounded
probably
good.
measure horribly.
Yeah, you don't
You
buy
know?
those speakers for the measurement, man. Like,
Well, you do on the tail end.
Yeah. There you go.
You measure the tail end. So this is that home theater. This is that home theater amp. Go ahead and pop that back up. The knobs.
Now
That's
that
the excuse me. That's the headphone amp. So the
a
knobs are
labyrinth.
actually
So you've got a labyrinth puzzle with don't I
So
have
this
that
is
copyrighted?
this is the Rated X audio show. I didn't know what I was signing up for tonight.
hey, I don't know if my wife is gonna allow me to just buy that just so I can turn the knobs. That's just
this room was very interesting, man. I really enjoyed it. Actually, that was on the entryway in to the room. But yeah, it was very interesting. Different take on audio, different take.
See, I don't want plugs on going out on the bottom. See, I'm more of an innie. I want an innie down there. I mean, some people might like that. That's okay, but yeah. But I guess I wouldn't want them in the back either.
Maybe we just put them in a different location.
check out this comment from Cypherx. It better not be the way it works, man. That would be crazy. That should be illegal. You shouldn't do that to your
Especially if you have somebody come over and be like, "Hey, check this out," and you start grabbing all these weird knobs and stuff. Then all of a sudden the police are showing up at your house hauling you away.
Yeah. You got to stand over here. Hold these plugs.
Turn the lights off.
Yeah.
So this was the SVS room. Let me see here. I got a couple, maybe a couple. I didn't upload them all, but I don't know what's going on with my upload, my Google Drive here. But that was the new SVS speaker. They had a 522 system set up also there.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Let me see if I can zoom in on this.
So the question is, were you able to in that? Because I'm assuming they only had the new stuff there. Are the new ones? Because I know they're throwing in new technology words in there. But if you were to listen to those versus the ultras, I wonder what the difference is in the sound.
So, because we weren't able to compare both, side by side.
Yeah, they look amazing. I'm going
to upload another picture here, see if I can get it uploaded. I can't say that I heard a difference, but it's been since M-Wave since I heard an SVS speaker too. So that literally is
Well, and they didn't even have the ultras there. They just had the Prime Pinnacles. The only ultra that they had was the center at M-Wave.
Yeah, so that's the big boy that they have. There's 4 8s in this.
That's an interesting color. It's brown.
No, it's wait. Is that
it's
that's
black with reflection?
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Actually, I like brown is different for SVS, but okay.
Yeah,
piano blouse.
I actually have some a cool color of Focals, that new area system. There was a company in there. They were showing like almost like a hunter green color. They looked really good. Let's see if I can find it.
Yes. Don't even show me those, because that's yeah, color because there's not a lot of things in green, so color always gets me. I'm like, ooh, those look nice. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know why, but my system only uploaded one picture at a time here. But yeah, no, these are they definitely sound nice. Like I said, there's 4 8s in this. So they're push pull. I can't say they're a push pull system, but they're one driver behind the other. So I actually spoke to them and talked to them about possibly becoming a dealer, and SVS is definitely interested in coming on the show once these new speakers are made available. So
Yep.
I talked to them, and they definitely want to come on the show mid March, late March when these are available. So we're
oh,
going to have them on.
so they're late March availability. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
That reminds me off to the side. How far along or how much more have you gotten done on your theater?
Me?
Yeah.
Didn't you just hear me say that I spent the weekend in Disney?
Yeah, I know, but you got time. You don't have to sleep. My buddy Miguel, he's got
Yeah.
the air conditioning installed. He's
Nice.
moving. He's moving.
Here's those green Focal.
Yes, those look amazing.
Those look
Yeah,
pretty good too.
I do like the looks of those.
So one thing I forgot to mention about the Dream Media Room, they had a different processor in there that I was not familiar with. I can't recall the name right off the top of my head, but I'll have to go back and look at the pictures. But it was a processor that used Dirac, and I think it was a 13 channel processor. To go back and check out the pictures to see which processor they were using, but it wasn't Marantz, Storm, HTP1, any of that. It was a different brand. So yeah, I mean, Audio Expo with the 2 hours that I had to get it there, talk to Kanga for about 10 minutes, jumping off the elevator. He had to run to a press conference. Also had another guy from literally, I met him on the elevator going to talk to Kanga, and he told me he was from Coral Springs, and I'm like, well, I guess it took us to drive 4 hours to meet because I'm only 5 minutes from Coral Springs. So I live in Parkland, Florida. He lives in the next town right below me.
By any chance, was that AVR Presellers? The one you're talking about?
It could have been. Let me go back to the picture and see what it says on that.
Because I know I had a video of the Presellers, and they talked about having them come out sometime this year, I believe. But I'm curious if that's the one. But that one should be a 16 channel. 13, I don't think the Presellers are 13.
I'll just back up. I'll look on my phone and see what it says. Had some cool outdoor speakers there. I didn't find any acoustics that like anybody. I didn't have time. There could have been like people just doing acoustics. I did find one. There was like one board of just showed different models of acoustics that people were using in certain locations. Let's see here, Dream Media.
So the expo is primarily for 2 channels, right?
Yeah, it was mainly 2 channel. SVS and Per Listen was the only one that actually had.
Cheers, Scott.
Oh.
I've already opened another one.
Anybody from Tito's is watching, I will take a sponsorship from you guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, if I did a show, it would be just for alcohol sponsors, not for anything else.
So I believe it was the Premiere, Primare, Premiere.
Interesting. Anyways,
E-R-E.
so I have I have one more question for Scott. On your build for SPL, we know speakers and in the room, but out of all of it, what was probably or what maybe even still is, what was and what is the biggest limiting factor for you for getting more SPL?
Well, my biggest factor, especially adding the last couple subs, is I'm I'm very much increasing the SPL in other rooms of my house and very little in the theater. So when I redo my ceiling, we're going to do a 1 inch thick plywood ceiling to help, because we're hitting like 130 dB in the living room above the theater. So that's obviously causes issues. But like with the last sub that I added, I mean, not expecting it to add very much, obviously, because you're only adding, one sub, but it added like maybe like a quarter to a half a dB, depending on the frequency, but it added even more upstairs. So there's just so much escaping the room that I need to, we need to work on that. Probably the biggest thing. I mean, the room was purpose built because eventually I knew where I wanted to go with it. It obviously takes time because everything takes time and money. But configuring to get 16/18s to work together good in a smaller space and still have a full Atmos setup with 4 seats and a 130-inch screen all in a 14 by 16 room. I mean, a serious game of Tetris to where no speakers are blocked, no viewing angle has been sacrificed. um, it was just a lot of well thought planning. And another thing that limiting factor has been power, because all the subs run off of 220, and right now I have 8 runs of 220 going into the room for the subs, and I want to add more subs, which means even more power, but our 200 amp service and additional box. So at that point, we're talking
Wow,
about having
you're
a whole
still only running 200 amp
yeah,
main
200 amp
service?
with a 100 amp additional box off the 200, like
Yeah,
as a secondary box.
yeah,
So
wow.
the next step is
Damn,
another 200 amp service for the house.
Wow.
yeah.
So
That's what I
Wow.
was wondering if you had already reached
Capacity
that,
on that, right?
like,
Yeah.
the capacity of a 200 amp circuit,
well, I
but
certainly have, because now I draw on both legs of the power. That now literally when you play the theater, I mean, it dims the lights in the whole house because you're drawing off of both sides. So it draws off the lights that are outside, the
Mhm,
lights in all the bedrooms. It draws down, instead of just
mhm.
drawing down the power in the one room, it draws down the whole house.
So, but does it do that at all times, or maybe just with specific
Oh
demos and
no,
scenes?
only if you want to go crazy. I mean,
Only whenever he's pushing it,
He's
yeah. He
pushing
could
it.
yeah.
Okay.
probably, I would imagine you could reach, I would say you could probably even reach up to, probably almost 140 before it would actually start killing that 200 amp, uh, inbound
Yeah,
circuit,
yeah, because even at, like,
but,
if you want to
man,
just play a movie at reference with the bass at reference, I mean, the drivers aren't even moving in the subs because there's so many in such a small space.
yeah, yep. Yeah, you're probably not even you yeah, yeah, like you said, they're, like, barely even a
Yeah.
watt out of all those things. It's like, "Oh, okay, we have, a whole wall to move air." It's like, "Okay, then
So,
we need a tenth of a watt." Whoop. When you're
there's 8 of those amps powering the subs, and then I have another one of those 6,000 watt amps powering the butt kicker. So there's nine speaker power 220-volt amps. But I am adding another sub. I just don't know when. So then there'll be 10 6,000 watt amps for the LFE channel.
My
That's
goodness.
crazy.
Oh.
When was the last time you had
And
your ears checked?
are you running all class H amps or class D
Well,
or
all the speaker power amps are Class D,
okay.
and
Yeah.
that's what JPR uses in their subs. So I bought a matching speaker power amplifier to push the butt kicker, so all the bass amplifiers match. And then on all the main channels, I use Rotel, which are all Class AB.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Shoot, you probably pull more wattage from the wall on those AB amps than you do
And
the rest
what are you
of
using to
200
blend
amp.
all that, Scott? Are you using just mini DSPs, or what are you using to?
Yeah, I use 3 mini DSPs to handle all the LFE, and then the Anthem handles all the mids and highs, and all the other speakers. Yeah. So
Wow.
So that just to confirm, that processor that was in I pulled it up. Pull it up if you could. That's the
Yeah, the Premier.
premier products. So sounded really nice.
Wow,
I
that
don't
looks
know
pretty
much about it.
well.
So
I
they
like the
had their
sleek
own
design.
integrated amp also.
Yeah, that looks sleek.
So
And
but it,
the little logo is a blueprint for something on a CAD drawing, and I don't remember what that stands for there. I'm forgetting. It's not like an electrical, like a schematic icon. I think that's for like blueprint. It almost looks like an electrical or a power icon for a blueprint.
yeah, it looks like they make a bunch of different stuff: network players, CD players, phono preamplifiers, integrated amplifiers. But it's my first time hearing of the brand.
Yeah, they have power arms too. That's good.
Integrated
25 series.
amplifiers, preamplifiers.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. One of these days, I might have to swing back up to Chicago. I used to go up to Chicago. I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky for a long time, and I went up to Lafayette. And if you're from around the area, Lafayette, Indiana, you know what's in that city. So that's only like 40 minutes or 45 minutes south of Chicago. So we used to go swing up to Chicago all the time. So it's
Yeah, anybody that's around us, I mean, as long as they give me a couple week heads up. I mean, I don't schedule anything for work, and I make myself available for demos and stuff. May 11th is our yearly event. Brace brings us together, which we host about 60 people. We got food trucks pull up, make lunch for everybody. People stay over or get rooms, fly in, drive in. I mean, people make it a point to make it out to the event every year. So,
that's
um,
awesome.
yeah, and I feel terrible because we get a lot of people that want to come, but we just take the first 60 spots. I mean, it's so hard to even entertain
Yeah,
60 people in your house.
you have to. Yeah. I mean, unless it's a paid event where you're going to start, charging, which that kind of gets,
Yeah, and
it's
I
like,
don't charge. It's nothing. I mean, last year we had Youth Man here. Youth Man will be here again this year.
yeah,
Ryan from the Sunday V will be here. JTR, Jeff from JTR, and Tony from JTR were here last year. Mark Seaton from Seaton Sound was here last year. So you never know who will pop up. Who will fly in for the event and hang out with everybody for the day. So
Hey, I might
but
just show up,
everything's
man.
free.
I might just show up and stay outside, man.
I'm sure you can hear everything from the
I know,
outside.
right? Just
if it's in the summer, I'll come camp in the yard.
peek through the
Yeah, well,
door.
we're adding a third experience this year because it's always been the 2-channel RTJ set up in the living room and then the JTR theater in the basement. But I'm gonna add a third experience, which it's equipment that I don't own, but JTR is gonna send me out a set of speakers. Buckeye's gonna send me out one of their Purify amps, and we're gonna set up a very simple 2-channel setup in the garage for somebody to hear a more I mean, none of this is cheap, obviously, but just a more budget friendly setup. An offering from Buckeye, offering from GTR.
Oh,
Nice.
we got Scott Squared now. What's going on, Scotty?
Hey guys, good to see you tonight.
A lot of Scots in here tonight.
I've been passively listening in the background while I was working tonight, but nice to see everyone. Scott, nice to meet you. I've seen your YouTube channel. You got a lot of great content out there, so really
Thanks,
appreciate
Bill.
everything you're doing, and your setup is fantastic.
Certainly appreciate it. Don's going to be on my show tomorrow night. We're going to be having a good time tomorrow night as well too.
Yeah,
So
what's
and I
that,
was on there last week. So
I'm gonna have to be
Eastern,
on
9
there
p.m. Central.
You're gonna have to tune
Just-
in for that one.
just to make fun of Don. I mean, just to say hello.
Absolutely, yes. The more ribbing, the better, right? So
yeah.
Yep.
no, but to answer your question, Paul, from earlier, I actually walked into the theater today because I think it's time for a new refrigerator for us. So I had to go in there and get my tape measure to measure out for the refrigerator. And I introduced myself to the theater as I walked in the door. My wife just started laughing because I haven't been in there in a couple weeks. So I said, "Hey, theater, it's Don." So,
That's hilarious. You're like, oh
but yeah,
yeah, yeah, I was building this, wasn't I? Oh yeah, yeah. I hear
so
you. I
yeah,
hear you.
yeah. Had to,
Mm.
I always preach family first. So unfortunately, my trip to Disney, I mean, it was great, but
Oh
we
yeah.
did get a monsoon come through Florida, so it rained Saturday, Sunday, pretty much all day long, and then
And you
we
were
we
still there
embraced,
though, right? Like you were
yeah, we
at
embraced the
Disney
rain.
while it was
I
raining.
was
It was
prepared. I had ponchos and rain suits and everything else like that. One thing I didn't prepare for was sloshing around in wet feet, wet
yes.
shoes.
Oh, that's
So that
the
was the only thing I
worst.
didn't prepare for.
That
But
is horrible. You guys brought the monsoon to KC at the last Mway. I was like, no, no, this is like, yes, we get, people don't realize we get the extremes of everything, but it's usually like one day, it's not, we don't have like Texas heat for, a month. It's like 3 days or a week at the most. But yeah, we got like the heaviest, dangerous, like deadly rain whenever
yeah,
Emily started. I was like, oh my
Scottio's
God.
channel actually shows that on a couple of his
Yeah,
videos.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
no,
some
no, no,
pretty
no,
good
no, no.
rain we had.
This is like mild hurricane weather. Like, no, we don't get this. This is like very rare.
Nah, it was crazy because we were driving down to the venue and it was like, wow, it was like this is crazy weather, man. That rain, it better not
Yeah.
happen this year, man.
Yeah. When the rain is raining upward, you're in a heavy,
Sideways,
it's like,
upwards.
it's like it's raining from the ground, like 10 feet. Like, what causes that?
Yeah, no,
So yeah, that was pretty
it
rare.
was definitely
We
bad.
all had a good time though. Once that calmed down. So
Yeah.
anyways, so what
So
about
what's going on new in Scottio's world?
And any breaking news for us?
Actually, I was just looking for breaking news. So the news in Scottio's world is that Scottio does not have a life for the last few weeks.
ah
So, yes, this is my break for like since the last time we spoke. Was that last week? Was I on last week?
I think
But
you jumped on in the after
You
show.
jumped
Yeah.
into the
yeah,
after
I
show, yeah.
mean this has been my life. Life has been work.
well, I was gonna talk
Unfortunately,
about what you brought up in the audio, or what's not really audio, it's really in the data world, petabyte discs.
oh, the new
And how
petabyte
that
optical disc. Yeah,
I'm
doesn't that
like,
sound cool?
dude, that is amazing. Yeah, because it's gonna change data centers big time for storage. Like
Back up my
huge.
collection 5 or 6
Yeah,
times
yeah.
over.
I
One
I can
disc.
have my NAS and my cold storage for 5 of my NAS storage devices will be one disk. You know? So
Yep.
that's wild, because that's where like even Amazon Connect or AWS Connect, right? You can have, like, if you do audio recording and screen recording or whatever, you pay a lot for your local DAS, direct access storage, for any of your VM instances, because it's just really expensive. It's right there. It's full SCSI fiber optic connected. But once you start saying, hey, I need this for 10 years, you'd have to pay millions to keep a DAS size
That
for
much.
7
Right.
years. I mean, millions upon millions.
Yeah.
But then, but you can go, oh, well, we're just going to do either, hard drive or tape or whatever. And then that may, but if you have an application where you're trying to play something, like in my world, real time, like I need to play an audio recording or something, it's like, it takes forever. It's like, oh, it's accessed on this disk. Who knows what machine brings it over, and then plays it, and you're like, oh man, that's gonna take forever. But if just for storage, for backups, which 90% of storage is just that, it's literally like, hey, if
Sure.
we need it, or proof.
Yeah. And it's so expensive in the cloud to do that. if you could have a few optical discs, back it up, send it
What
around.
do you
If
think
you
the
have the right
probability
option,
in
even
the
better.
fruition is?
Hmm?
So what? We didn't
What do you
hear.
think the probability of that disc actually coming to fruition?
Oh, it's
In the
coming.
home theater
Oh,
space.
that's it's
It'll
a
come in one way, shape, or form. Whether
yeah,
it's
yeah.
reasonably priced where we can get our hands on it, or whether we
That'll
have
be a while.
drives
That'll
and
be a
devices
while.
with it, it's probably
Yeah,
ways
I
out.
think it's coming,
Yeah.
but maybe not in the home theater space anytime soon. In the movie
Yeah,
space
no,
anytime
that's
soon.
Right.
but that
probably.
technology moves so quickly though, you know. I mean, it does. It moves exponentially because when it first initially comes out, you're going to have like I used to have to work in some data centers that they kept government records, right, in data centers. And they had, I mean, thousands upon thousands of square feet of, data storage for collecting data from the government and or different clients or customers for historical and or, for immediate access. And this and this
Yep.
type of technology they will want because it will allow them to make more money because, oh, I used to have to rent a 10,000 square foot, data center for air conditioning, cooling, and all this stuff for 2 customers. Now I can have 2 million customers worth of storage in that same square footage because real estate is expensive.
Right. And if you look at something like the telecom industry, you need to keep records of who was contacted for, what is it, 7 years? So
Mhm.
having a storage method you can offload and shove off site is huge. So I think there's
Huge.
potential for it to be
Huge.
utilized.
Oh,
The
it
only
will
thing,
be used, but
the thing
you
that I
gotta
could,
remember, they're
if
saving 200
um,
million, so they're gonna charge a lot for that disc, at first.
think any
They're gonna charge
breakthroughs in
so
the
much.
SSD or the memory storage world, I can see that pushing that out of the market. But right now, there's nothing close in the SSD world to hold that amount of storage.
Yeah, no. And then SSD is still just as volatile as, silicon or, spinning disks. So it's a different world. But it'll be interesting once it drops down to consumer. It will change a lot of things. A lot of things. I could see them making a disc that could have all the content already on it, and then you owning a player that you buy a license to access or decode that specific section on the disc. So,
That'd be an interesting take for sure. I mean, I just
yeah.
want a cheaper method to store my 1,800 movies in cold storage, rather than having to buy
Yeah.
a NAS
I think
and all
you
that
could you
stuff.
could you could definitely store. Yeah, it would be much easier to send a backup. It's like, "Hey, I need to back up all of my movies, all of my series. Here, I'm just gonna send you one disc."
Yeah.
But
Don, whatever Amazon charges you, I'll charge half if you want to start with me.
yeah,
Definitely. Definitely.
it's pretty
Well,
wild.
thanks for that news, Scotty O. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple
chat.
other. Do you remember a while ago? It might have been on one of the first shows I was on. We were talking about the MEMS speakers, the headsets, using the
Right.
solid state drivers. I guess
Mhm.
Sennheiser. I just saw a text clip of this earlier this week. Sennheiser is actually looking at making microphones using that same technology. So it's kind of
Oh, that's
interesting.
cool.
And so far, the word on the street is that they perform fairly well and they sound good. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen any measurements of the things yet. So, and then
Yeah.
M&K launched a new speaker set too.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Minion.
About this.
Yep. And Kef, I think we all know about the Kef new
So
subwoofers.
M&K launched in wall line, correct? To kind of
Yeah, that
compete
was an
with
in-wall line.
Per Listen. some of the upper end speakers. Yeah, I do remember reading something about that. It would definitely be interesting to see or hear. You know, M&K. I know they just came out with a big boy subwoofer. I mean, obviously they've been in the subwoofer game forever, but they came out with a big boy subwoofer to compete with the D215 from Perlison also. So I think they got a little target towards Perlison.
Do you guys know anyone that runs M&K gear? Because
I
I
know
honestly, the only
Shane.
time I've ever heard it was their old stuff. I haven't seen anyone with M&K
Yeah,
gear.
I don't think so, man.
I don't know.
I could do
Yeah,
it.
I know Shane used to do it like early in his YouTube channel when he was still spare change, but I know he had them when I first started watching, I believe, and then he switched to the B&Ws, and then he went. I know he's had a couple brands in there. He went to the Perseus. I know he's with the Sendo right now. There was another on wall that he had also. He also had the Arendelles too. So I think he switched from M&K to the B&Ws to the Arendelles and then to the Perseus and then one other one in between with what he's got now, if I can remember correctly.
Man,
But
you're
yeah,
like a YouTube stalker.
You're like,
You know all
dude,
this.
I
I'm
I
like,
mean,
damn, man, I don't want you. Don't
that's
subscribe to my channel, bro.
that's my only
He's
that's
like
my
a
only
librarian, right?
form of
He's got this
entertainment.
card catalog. He's like,
I know. Like,
Did you see the
yeah,
smoke
let me
going
see what
off
I
there
know
when I was
about
thinking about that?
you. Anyways, now I want to know, Ike, do you have anything new going on this evening that you can show us? You've
I
been
just want to do a
hinting
little
at
show and
stuff.
tell for us.
You've been hinting for the last few weeks about several things, but I heard you might actually be able to show us something today. Hopefully it's G-rated.
You're on mute, Ike.
just lots of smiles and no audio. Like,
Yeah, you're still on mute, buddy. Hey, just want to thank Kanga and Giles for being in the chat. Appreciate you guys.
Dad, did you see Giles did one of the Dayton kits? I watched that last night. Actually, he did a great video on it, and it's one of the kits that I've kind of wanted to do as just a fun project on the side.
Yeah, what was it? The 18, right?
It's the
The 18?
Ultimax. Yeah.
Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people do those. I wonder what did Giles think of that one? I didn't see that one on his.
Giles, if you're in the comments, I want to know what veneer you used because that looked really nice and it was clean. I like the dark black. Was that like a wood grain almost finish on it?
Oh, he actually did a veneer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, that's like super cheat method, man. And if you do
What?
it, but it's
It looked good. It looked
you've
good.
done veneer, man. It's tough sometimes.
My start
Depends
to
on-
watching Giles' channel was actually watching him put together a lot of the homemade subwoofers, the GI, not the GIK, but what is it called? The kits that he was doing. I can't remember where GSG maybe.
GSG stuff.
Yeah, he was ordering the kits and stuff through them. So that was actually my introduction to his channel, is watching him build some of those. He built one subwoofer and they painted it like a Kraken. It was pretty cool. So if you guys haven't checked that out, it was actually really cool that something that he did. Ike, you ready to give us a little tour, sir? You're still on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute, so I'm trying to get
There
on
we
mute.
go.
Yeah, he's trying to keep from echoing. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't run the board for you while you're you gotta run your own board. There we go.
There it is.
Let's see. Can you hear me though?
We can hear you,
Yep.
sir.
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
You
All
can still
right.
hear me? Okay, so
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
okay, that's good then. Okay, so I don't even know where to start, but
Let's start up
uh,
front.
yeah, let's start up front, and hopefully I can hold my camera still. And let's start with the projector screen, and I have the Seymour Center Stage XD. It is 137.5 diagonal, and it's an amazing screen. Really, really
You had to
great
go with
screen.
that 0.5.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but yeah,
Every
size
half inch counts, guys.
size does matter.
Yep. Size does matter, believe it or not. So yeah,
Definitely.
then I love the people that Seymour, right? That's what you
Yeah.
said. Yeah, and I at M-Wave those people are really great to talk to and chat with.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, they're a super friendly crew.
yeah.
So behind
and
the speakers, behind the screen, what do you got going back behind the screen? Is that your
so
LCR? Are they in ceiling? What's going on with that?
yeah, so I am running a 9.4.6, and I'm using the same. My bed layer speakers are all the same. So behind the screen is going to be what I have here, which is the Monolith 3 IW365 THX in-wall speakers. I have 3 of these behind the screen, and it's all exactly across the room. So yeah, they are budget friendly in-wall speakers. They're not focals and they don't cost $1,000. You can always get them on sale like $400 sometimes, if not even. Yeah, I think they've gone as low as probably 360 or $400, something like that. But
And they look a
the
lot like the Focal in walls that they have. So they're
they EQ really well. I've had Joe and Tel do some really work at them, and he was really impressed. But I think the advantage is just having the same bed layer speakers right across the board. That always helps. So they're good. I don't I don't see me changing anytime soon. Somebody decides to send me a complete set of bed layer speakers in walls, and even then I still have to think twice, right? Because if it's same size, if it's smaller or something, then it's more drywall.
so are those 6.5s or 8s?
Dual 6.5s.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got 3 of them behind the screen. Then you
Yeah.
have looks like 2. You have a wide channel now,
Yes, I
and
did.
then
I recently added the front wides. I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I have those. And then just going around the room, I have one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, The Sound of Music. So that is a DIY acoustic panel that I did down in the garage. I had that printed, and um, yeah, it's packed with insulation right there.
got the rock wool in there.
Yep. And it's the same thing I did with this columns that I built, right? So I don't know if I can. I had them kind of floating, so it's not connected to the ceiling, and it's
Okay.
also not to the base of the room. So they're kind of floating and then packed with insulation, and then I have the speakers in there. So
All
it was a
right.
fun.
And the
fun.
columns were something that you just recently added, correct?
Yes, recently added, and I love them. I love them.
I love
They're
the pop of color that you got in there. It really
Yeah, it
gives
gives
the
this
character.
room so much character. I mean, when I first saw those, I was like, dude, whoa, what? Like, and that's what's wild. It's really a lot of this is about the art of the room, It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, my 6-year-old daughter picked out the color. I took it to Home Depot, and we're
But
just kind of
but you know, green sounds better than orange. I'm just saying.
Well,
oh,
Uh,
get better reflections off of green, I guess.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's what in the motorcycle community, you know, we talk about, you know, bikes that are faster, and people will say, "Oh, the black bike's faster than the blue one," you know.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And in front, I have the SVS PV 2000s. If I can stop this from wobbling, I have one in the left and the right for my front subwoofer pairs, and I just go all the way to the back. And at the back, I have the SVS in-wall 3000. So these are amazing subwoofers. I am working on a review for them, which I should have gotten out a long time. Probably needs to get some light so you guys can see them, but they look really amazing. Let me grab a
So
light.
those are dual 8s?
Those are dual
Dual
12,
9.
do 12s,
I think
right?
they're 9s, I think.
Or 9s?
Dual
Yeah.
9s? Let's do it there.
Yeah, I don't add it. Yeah.
If you could put it up for me on their website, but I should
Yeah.
know this.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I know
but-
you're going to be working on a review for them too. So
Yeah, I'm almost done with it. So, but I need to get Paul to do some measurements because I don't want to go there. Measurement
Yeah,
is
it's
not my thing.
it's dual 9-inch woofers, like.
Dual
Yep.
9-inch. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still with that.
That's a good looking space, Ike. I like what you did with that space.
Yeah. So I have the other one back there, and sorry, I have the camera. I was working on the video.
do you have the amp that comes with those? Do you get the subwoofers and the amp from them, or is that
Yes.
did you use a separate amp?
No, I have the amps when we get. I have the amp that comes with it,
Okay.
and when we get to, I will show that. So yeah, so I kind of have this one, on the right, the back left, just by the back seat, and then the one on the other side is sort of playing like almost like a near field, right? Because I have the back. So if you're sitting on the right side of the back row, this is practically a fun seat. It's almost my favorite seat in the house now. Just get to feel that subwoofer as you sit, really good. And let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, this is my famous wall. It just shows the gears that I have: SVS, JVC,
Oh yeah, we
Monolith.
got to see that dramatic sign
Now,
change of that you put together for us
I know.
on your short video there.
Yep. And then you have for the anthem. Let's see, what else? Now this room used to be right here where you have the speakers. It used to be a half wall, and I literally closed it up, packed it with insulation. It was like a half wall. There was no, you know how they designed the game rooms, right? Where you just have like
Right.
a half wall, just the entry. There's no door, nothing. So I and my friend Franklin literally built this part of the wall ground up, packed it up with insulation and everything, installed the doors. And right behind the rack, there used to be like an open space where you could basically see downstairs the entryway, right? So we closed that and then put this back speaker up there. And let's see. Yeah. So
You got some
finish
acoustic panels in there. Did you make the combo panels yourself, or who did you get those through?
which of them?
The back there, right there above that speaker.
No, I didn't make them myself. I bought them online. I got them from a company online, not GIK. There's a different one. I can't remember.
All right.
But yeah, so I think one of the best things I did for this room was
adding just black velvet curtains all over the room after trying so many black paints from Sherwin Williams and Home Depot, and none of them worked. And I tell people, man, if there's any visual improvement you can do to your room, is put some black velvets, maybe not across the room like I did, but somewhere surrounding the screen. The contrast, the difference is just it's really amazing. But yeah, behind them, I know somebody's gonna ask and say where are all the acoustic panels, but I do have them behind the velvet curtains.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 on each side of the wall, so there's one hiding back here. So these are all
All
DIY.
the acoustic panels hidden by the velvet curtains. Now, did you purchase those curtains already made, or did you make the curtains yourself with fabric? How did you go about that?
Already made from Amazon. Nothing
Oh, very
special.
nice.
Yes, I got them from Amazon, and I think I tried about 2 different ones before I was able to get what really works for the room space. But yes, for velvet, I don't think you have to go very expensive. I know in the home theater space we have our favorite brand that we like to run to, but I think you can get any decent velvet material from Amazon that would work. Especially if the room is already light controlled to a point, right? You don't need anything very dramatic. So yeah, so I have some additional DIY panels that I built. These are all handmade in the garage, printed out the design, the decor on them, and then put them around. And they work well. For my high speakers, I'm running 6 high speakers. Probably won't be able to show them because of the light, but I'm in the process of replacing them. I used to have all OSD in-ceiling speakers, but I've started replacing them to the RSL. RSL has some angled in-ceiling speakers that are really, really amazing. I wish I could dim the lights and try to show them, but they're really amazing high channels. And Croson, I know you always wanted to know if 6 Atmos speakers are legit. Trust me, it is.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing the 6, one of these days, but
Yep.
it's on the list.
Yeah, but trust me, it is. I think it's a better improvement than trying to go with front wides like I did. I think that yeah, 6 high channels are really, really amazing. So yeah, up back here we have the latest entry in the home theater, which is the JVC NZ7. Amazing, amazing projector. That's, I know there's all the back and forth between Sony and JVC and all that good stuff, but just coming from what I had previously, which is the Sony 325 ES, yeah, this is just on a different level. Contrast and picture quality, the startup time, just laser, turn it on and it's just ready to go. I know most of us always wish that
Yeah,
was the
and
case.
to be fair to Sony, I think the 5000 series would more match up with this particular model. I think the MP5 would probably match up to the Sony model that you had. But
Mm,
yeah, I mean, definitely, can't complain with JVC's black levels for sure. At every chance I've had to see one of the JVCs, that the black levels are just amazing contrast, like you said.
yeah, I always say Sony has the colors, and JVC really has something on that contrast that for some reason, it's probably not Sony's priority. But I don't know. I think I took a look at the 5000. I don't know if I think there were certain things that were just missing, and that probably the NZ7 probably would have more specs. But I don't want to
Right.
misspeak. get crazy comments. But yeah, I think giving I choose between the 5,000 and the 7, I'll still go with the NZ7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did get an opportunity to take a look at it and experience it, but it just wasn't my style. But quickly for the room dimension is technically 20 by 21, right? But I always say it's 18 by 21 because at the back, if you can see the back, I have this cubby right here, right? That kind of just splits the room. So
Right.
yeah, I feel like it takes about 2 feet away from the back seat. I wish I didn't have that so that I could push my second row further backwards a little bit, but it works just fine. And I sit about 9.5 feet from the front row from the screen with the projector screen. I think it's a good view and angle. We don't feel any strain when we're watching any movies,
So
in
how
front.
far from the screen are you again?
About 9 foot, 9.5 foot.
About 9 feet. So it
Yeah,
looks like on that wall you actually have a little bit of room, your front wall to go bigger if you wanted to. But from 9 feet, is that why you chose the size of the screen that you did, the 135 diagonal?
no, I, like I keep saying, I accidentally bought the screen, and as funny as it sounds, no. So there was really no plan to go with the 137. I always wanted to get, let's see, a bigger screen, the 150, right? But when we moved and we were setting this place up, you see the way I have it. If you notice, the screen is not centered in the room, right? It's to the
Right.
left of the room. And that's because my wife wanted some space here where she thought she could put like a game table or something like that. And I was like, okay, we're not going to fight about this, right? So, but what, 2 years now, there's no game table, there's nothing. So, you know, she's working and
You're gonna
I
come home tomorrow and there's gonna be a game table there now.
know, right? Probably ordering one from Amazon. But
That's
yeah, yeah. So, but yes, at some point, I think we might end up, you know, getting a bigger screen. But I don't know, it's difficult to dispose of screens, right? This is a really, really good screen, so I don't see.
Yeah,
It's bottom of the priority. That's all I'll say. I'm not
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're
up.
probably getting a very good viewing angle from 9 feet with
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna say you don't
Yeah,
feel like it's too small, do you? Because even me,
no,
like I've been in theaters where the screens are smaller. Like I've been in Tons. His is a 145, and because
yeah,
of his seating position, it feels bigger. And I'm like, man, I don't. but mine, I'm 150, but I'm sitting at 14 feet away, so it
yeah.
feels way small. I'm like, man, I wish I would have gone bigger, but I'm running out of wall, you know. And
Yeah,
you're not having that problem, are you?
no, no, it doesn't feel small. However, because the room is about 20 foot wide, right? You would always still feel like this whole gap here. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
You,
So are you looking to go more like a cinescope in that
I don't think I'll.
to go full wide as you can in this scenario?
Nah, 16 by 9. I love my 16 by 9. I don't know. Like Cinescope, I think I would enjoy it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it long term. And a lot of the things that I watch,
But
right?
you already have the curtains where you could just pull them left to right to mask for your 16 by 9 content. And then you would
Yes.
have a giant cinescope. Because you're almost I mean, how much more leeway do you have for height? I mean,
Uh, there's plenty of space. I mean, if I go lower, there's plenty of, there's about 2 feet below.
oh, you can't go lower because Don says you got to
Getting
be
the
30 inches because
Yeah, right.
your big toes are gonna get in the way. Which there's a point to that, depending on your
Yeah,
distance.
I don't have a lot of room at the top because the front of the room is a sloped It's
Yeah.
kind of slowed down, so it kind of makes it challenging to be able to
Yeah,
do
so
anything.
in this case, I don't know how much bigger you could get with 16 by 9. I mean, if you moved your right sub over a little bit, you could, but then your screen's going to be lower than your subwoofers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but I mean, I haven't woken up any morning and thought, oh, maybe I need to change.
I need to
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you're more of a from just speaking with you, you're more of a video file than an audio file. So I'm
yeah.
sure you like the fact that JVC is pumping out as many nits as it can,
Oh,
or foot Lamberts to that screen as it can.
it is beautiful. The JVC is just it's a beautiful experience. It's something I wish I had done earlier, but we're here, so no problem. But let's go to the rack. Can you guys see this clearly? I try to put some
Yes.
light.
Yep. We're
Yeah.
good.
We
Okay.
see an
Yes.
Oppo.
Yeah, at the very top, I have the Oppo 203, thanks to Technodad. I won that from one of his giveaways. So yeah,
Oh,
that was
nice.
great. And then right
Hell
below
of a
that,
giveaway. That's worth like $2,000 right now, right?
yeah. So yeah, lucky me. And then right below that, I have the PS5, PlayStation 5, and then I have this is the newest Monolith power amplifier. This is the 5-channel one. I'm using this to run my high channels. I just recently got it in, so that's something that I will be reviewing for the channel just to see what they do. But I think they're just like 90 watts per channel, so they're not. I think they're really just good for your high channels. I don't think you want to drive anything else with that.
So you say they're running it's a 5-channel amp. It's running, but you have 6 Atmos channels, correct? So what are you using for the 6th one?
So what I did is I'm actually running 4 of the high channels, the OSDs from it, and then I'm running the 2 RSL centers high channels from one of my other amplifiers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of just put the 2 together instead of having to split 1v1. So yeah, but right below that is the amp for the SVS in-wall subwoofer. It is rack mounted and just quiet as can be. It's now I think when you the subwoofers are rated 800 watts per channel, right? However, the only way you get the 800 watts per channel for your subwoofers is if you buy them as single units. If you buy the dual unit, like what they sent me for review, right? If you get both of them and you get this one single box, then you'll be splitting that 800 watts to 400 watts per channel.
Yeah, on
Now,
the
is
website,
that
looking at 2,500 watt peak for this and 800 watts RMS.
But
is that amp also app driven?
sorry?
Is the amplifier for the subs, is that app driven? Like, is there an app for your phone that you can use with that?
Yeah, SVS
Yep.
app. Yes, the standard SVS app works for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the standard SVS app works for it, and it's amazing. It does what it's supposed to do. I think the only thing I wished was that there was a way to dim this blue light in front, but it
Okay.
works. Yeah, it works really great. Now
You know what
below
works
that,
good for that? Electrical tape.
yeah, you can see what I'm about to show you
I would
next.
just use this tint, get some
That's what I was
tint.
going to say.
just
A little bit of window tint for a car. Just cut a strip
Yeah.
up.
Then you can just static cleaning it on there, and then you can still
Yeah.
peel it off.
Yeah, so for below it, I have the OSD 3-channel amps. I do have like a velvet material blocking, reducing the
There
light.
you go.
I have more of that. I just need to get up there and do it for the SVS app. But yes, this to me is one of the best budget amplifiers that you can find anywhere on the market. They work really great. work really well, and they drive my my speaker. The speakers, the in-wall speakers are rated 4 ohms, so these really do well at just driving them. This particular 3-channel runs my LCR, my front 3 channels, and does really, really good. Thanks.
My buddy has an OS. That's what he drives his whole system with, is that OSD amp. And that is, and the customer service. He had one for quite a while, and one of the channels started buzzing, and they replaced it for him. I mean, no
Yep.
question asked. He was under warranty, and they were just like, "Oh yeah." I mean, he called him direct though. I mean, he called him, and he loves it. So, and that
Yep.
was the one that was driving the big Neoliths at the first M-Wave, actually, because
The one that surprised.
the first one, that's the high end amp, burnt up.
Yep. And the OSD outshined it. So
It pumped out wattage for the whole weekend.
yeah, we're not going to get anybody in their feelings, the ones who own the high end. So we're not going to name names, but right below that is one of my latest entry. Well, I have right above this the NVIDIA Shield somewhere there. It's almost in retirement now because I have the Zidu, and then ever since I got the Zidu, I don't even think I've turned on my NVIDIA Shield, which just kind of sucks because I really love the NVIDIA Shield. They need to come out with a new one. That they're
I think that's the problem. It's starting to feel a little old, right?
Yeah, they did, but they're focused on AI right now, so I don't think we're getting a new Shield anytime soon. But right below
Yeah, I'm
that,
the
we have
same
that.
way. Ever since I got the Zidu, I haven't even turned on my NVIDIA Shield. I use for basic stuff, I use the Apple TV, for shows and basic stuff. But if I want to watch my own movie content, I use the Zidu. And the updates, like, I think I would still be using the NVIDIA Shield if they would have kept the performance of the version 8. But man, once they got to 9.5, that thing is, and it's sluggish. I haven't updated it to the latest one right now, and I've heard they have fixed some of this stuff, but
Yeah,
it was very disappointing to me because that was my only time I've ever had one device that did everything that I wanted it to do. And now I'm like all over the place again.
Hey guys, I got to get running here, but I will be on tomorrow night with Don, so I look forward to that. Don, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I certainly appreciate you guys having me on for the last hour and a half. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, Scott, thanks for
appreciate you
coming.
hanging.
Thanks for joining.
Nice
Got
to
the
meet you,
link.
Scott.
You're welcome to join whenever you want moving forward. So, yes, for those of you that aren't subscribed to Scott's channel, go ahead over to Living It with Scott and Kat. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. And as he mentioned, I'll be on tomorrow night with him starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. So look forward to that. Thanks again for joining, Scott.
Yeah, hey, no doubt. Hey, Ike, I love the room, man. It turned out nice.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. See you guys later.
See you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yes, back to the Anthem APM 70. This, I would say, obviously, is a great upgrade from the Denon 4700H that I have, and it allowed me to be able to run the 9.6 channels that I wanted to, which I was not going to be able to do.
How
I'm
many
still learning.
subwoofer
Ike,
outputs?
I got a question about your rack there. Do all those components slide out? Or are they sitting on shelves? Is that like a slide out rack, or is that just shelves that they're sitting on there?
They're sitting on shelves.
Okay.
They're sitting on shelves. I bought this rack for like $100. It cost me more to get the rack shipped to me. I bought it for like $100, and then it was shipped for $150. So in total, the whole 42U was $250.
Wow,
Dang.
that's a good bargain. It looks like they almost slide out, like they're on, kind of like on
Yeah, it does
casters
have,
or something like that.
but I don't. It requires a different type of rack mount,
I
which
see.
was really safe. So I just went to the budget NAV points to be able to do that. But yeah, I just have everything sitting on the shelves, and it's nice. It comes with a fan at the top, which is pretty loud, but I plan to get that replaced. And it's good. It has
You
some
can
nice.
probably reach out to Infinity. They got some super quiet fans.
Yeah, I'll get some really nice rack fans that are quiet. Yeah, but yeah, the AVM 70, it's working smoothly. I don't feel like I've gotten the opportunity to kind of just really explore it, but it works well. It's just good, and
Yeah, the one thing I like about that AVM 70, even though it's not really utilized yet, but it does have the IMAX enhanced on
yeah,
there, that you have the capability of if and when Sony holds true to what they announced 2 years ago, they plan on making a lot of the IMAX
Two,
enhanced.
two, 2 years ago, you plan on someone holding true to a 2 year ago promise?
Hey, you never know. They may
um,
get
Yeah.
but
they may
it
get a
doesn't
bug in their butt.
sucks because I used to really use the Auro 3D upscaling, whatever. Yeah, but growing pains, that's what I call it. So
Yeah.
I was, but yeah, right below that is what I've been working on. I was working on that earlier today, and I'll probably be working on it tonight, finishing up a review for it. It's the R Evolution Play One. It's man, this device is amazing. It's amazing. The playback, I was going back and forth with my ZDoo, and the playback and just the interface is amazing. I feel like it has a better handling of media files than even the ZDoo does.
Well,
Now
that
is that
handles everything as well, like
Yeah,
BDMV and ISO as well.
it
mhm.
handles everything. And look, even when like what I saw this evening, I was really impressed was whenever you select like a file or a movie, it tells you all the different speaker layouts that it plays. So I was surprised that it showed me 9.1.6, which is basically what my home theater layout is, and then it shows you 7.1, and then shows you 5.1. Basically, you would, for each file that you have, right, it will show you what layout, if it's HDR10, if it's Dolby Vision. And at the back of the rack there somewhere is my what's it called again, my HD Fury Vroom that allows me to pass low latency Dolby Vision to the projector. So it's really great. So I can basically get Dolby Vision, you know, watching any media that actually is Dolby Vision enabled. So yeah, but I should be done with a review of this weekend. So look out for it, and when you see it, show it some love. But it's a really good, you know, it's a really good player for what it's worth. So below that, I have another 3 channel OSD. I have an AC Infinity fan, and then I have a 5 channel OSD. So I have all my amplifiers in the same family, same brand, except for the monoprice at the very
Right.
top. Yep. And then at the bottom of the rack, I have a Panamax. I think it's the M5300. I think it's almost a staple for every home theater, right? Everybody has one of these hanging
Mm,
around.
I
And
don't.
you,
I just ran dedicated power.
you need,
Yeah,
you need,
Store on
yeah,
no
store that.
Panamax here either.
yeah, you need to get you one of those. And yeah, let's see. So these are solid core doors. I know everybody keeps asking me about the colors for these doors. They're really, really good doors. And I'm just going out in front of the home theater. So in the hallway, I have this screen Probably need to go downstairs so you can see it, but I do have a screen that basically replicates whatever is going on in the home theater. So it's right there at the entryway.
Okay, so you got like movie posters and stuff like that.
As if I'm watching anything on Plex, it shows on the
That's
screen.
cool.
Yeah, it's nice. I used one of those mini PCs right
Mini
at the
PC.
back. Yeah, so there's like a mini PC at the back, and then there's a couple of softwares that I use, and then just a little bit down the hallway, I have this little cute room, which is basically the snack room. Um,
All right.
yeah, and
You
it
got the same popcorn maker.
has a popcorn maker. I'm just going to turn on the light. It has a popcorn maker. It has my mini fridge, and then there's just there's
Gotta
a
have a
rack.
broom closet.
Yep, so there's a rack that has drinks and all the wine that the wife likes to drink. And yeah, so in this room, I'm not going to open it because the kids probably made a mess there, but I am building a racing station for them so that
Hey,
they
what?
can. I'm racing, so
Oh,
the
a
room is
racing
probably,
simulator.
yeah, simulator, but it's probably a mess. I probably shouldn't even turn it on. But yeah, so they have their PlayStation and TV on the wall and all that, and it's going to turn into a dedicated racing scene.
Nice. You're pulling a
It's
Fred
some,
on us.
yeah, so that's the goal for that particular space, but there's not really much to show about it. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that I have failed to
So I wanna
cover?
that wall that you know, you said it was a half wall.
Yeah, let me go to the
What?
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did that actually lead to? So it was like leading to your stairway prior, or where?
yeah, it leads downstairs as you can see,
Okay.
and it was basically a half wall somewhere around this. So we literally had to just build everything up and pack it up with insulation,
Okay.
and then
So it was kind of like a little bonus room area that prior, you know, to you, and you're the first um, owner of your home, right? You just recently had your home built.
yes, we recently built it, but the builders were going to charge $10,000, and then even then, all the other people that I kind of reached out to the different companies to do it were giving me quotes of $8,000, $7,000, and I think the
Wow.
highest $12,000. I went to Home Depot, bought all my material for around $1,500 and a few back aches, and we completed it.
A few
So
backaches.
I mean, I don't want.
Those
A lot of
backaches
work.
add up though when you
They
get
do.
old.
I mean, all you got to basically do is you know put a stud across the ceiling into the joists that are there, and then drywall up to it. Put your couple vertical sticks. So yeah, not a very hard task. I guess more so because it was on the backside of the steps. You know,
Yeah,
hanging that drywall on the backside.
that
I'm
was
sure
it.
it was kind of hard to do.
Yes, that was it, right? It was one bringing those down because these are 5/8 drywalls, right? So we had to
Oh, trust
use,
me, I know about 5/8 drywall.
yeah. So they're not fun to carry upstairs. And then yes, like you said, we were dealing with having to do all of this, with that step there. So we kind of, I think what we did was we actually built it and then moved it up, some of it in like different parts, and then put it together. So
Okay, so you framed it first, and then
yeah, we
and
framed it. Yeah, different layouts, and then we were able to just put it back together, you know. But yeah, let's see. This is my office space. I feel like this place deserves a different tour on its own, but just wanted to give you guys a hint of what it looks like. That's where I do all the
Yeah,
show,
that
do all
looks
my.
pretty cool. I'm gonna have to work on that so my space looks cool like that.
I know. I get jealous every time I see your background.
because I have the big light turned on, so I mean, it's obviously mask, it's outshining, but it looks much better if I were to turn off that light. But yeah, that's it. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? I don't know if I'm missing out
I
on
mean,
anything.
I
I'm
definitely
not.
like the. I personally wouldn't have chose that orange color, but it definitely complements the room right.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I love that orange color for. I mean,
well, I
Well, the
have a
camera.
thing against orange and green. You mentioned orange and green.
Well,
Seems a little
camera.
more
green's my favorite color, so no
seems
wonder I pick on you so
like
much.
Florida State Seminole. Orange and
Well,
green for
Ah,
the Miami Hurricanes don't go very well,
Oh, jeez.
or for
there you
even for
go.
the Dolphins too. So
the
I cheer for the
camera
Dolphins.
is what makes it look orange, though. I think the camera and the light, it's almost a shade of brown. And
Okay.
yeah, it's not orange. So I'm actually, my PC, I'm looking at it on my PC screen. It actually gives the actual correct shade. On my phone, it looks more yellowish. But
Okay.
it's, yeah, I'll get the name of, I have the name of it and put it in the chat just so you can see. But yeah, it's far from orange.
Yeah, it does look
It
orange
is.
to the
I
camera
mean, it is a
exposure.
brown shade,
It's,
but
yeah,
it's a
brown.
really dark. It to us right now, it looks more like a
Yeah.
really burnt orange, like a
Right,
brown
like a
orange.
tape orange or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks to me, it looks really good, and I
No,
mean,
I definitely like it. It's not
yeah.
something that I would have.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like what color you would personally go with, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it just gives your regardless of the color, it gives your theater so much character
Exactly.
where
yeah,
just with
it
those
was the,
columns.
If they were black, your tour would not be as nearly entertaining and look as well on camera. The color makes it just pop. Everything stands out. It looks
Yep.
great.
Yep,
yeah.
it
It's
accents
awesome.
everything. Yeah, it's
If it-
pretty.
yeah, I mean, we've all seen black theater rooms, and
Yeah,
it's just
black on black on black. We know what that looks like.
and
So
it's just like
at that
you
point,
can't even. None of the details pop out. None of the speakers pop out.
well,
Like there's
I mean,
hard to
yeah,
see everything.
even in person, if it's black on black on black, it doesn't. It's like okay, yeah. But so at that point, you're literally just looking like even your rack has blue like outlinings there or LEDs that you put on there. Is that or little
The blue,
accent pieces?
it came
I mean,
with
I
the rack.
really like that rack. You said for $200. I think everybody in the comments need a link to this rack for $200. It's a phenomenal rack for that.
I shared it to you guys sometimes. It's called Tools Loot. That's where I got it from. And a couple of people have actually gone there and bought racks from there. And maybe not the exact as cheap as I got mine. But yeah, you will get real 42U racks for like $300-400. And they will ship it double boxed in a freight to you. It's gonna cost you more to get it shipped than to
Wow.
buy the rack. Once I get back, I'll put
And you
it
had to
in the
put that. I'd imagine you had to put it all together, correct?
No, it came like this.
Oh, it came together like that.
Well, that's why it costs so much damn money to have it shipped.
It came looking just
Well, no wonder.
I
it
mean,
was
I thought
only a
I got a rack at my Mid Atlantic rack for like $900, a 42U rack. But man, have you seen the cost of 42U racks these days? They're like $2,000.
and I can remove the side panels. I removed the door at the back, obviously, and then both side
Well,
panels can move.
Kanga actually asked, how do you rewire your system? So, like, if you need to get
How
to
do
the
I
back of your, yeah, he asks, like, how do you
roll
rewire
it?
that? So it's
So
on
the roll,
rollers, yeah, and that's
yeah.
what I thought, but
I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
pulled the rack out, and obviously, so if you can see, let me see. I think I
Is
have. Let me get.
there a cover on the back of it?
Cable management going on
No,
there.
I removed the cover. I
Okay,
removed the.
but you have the option. You could, but you were like, whatever. So you get plenty of airflow in that thing. That's your door is just on there for aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what I did. So I can just pull this, and I have all my cable and back there. I have 220 amp sockets running back right there. That I have almost
Yep.
everything in. into full
Yep.
out.
So
So yeah,
you can do whatever you want with that thing. Yeah, and that's amazing. That is what's
yeah,
cool about a
it can
rack. You can,
come out
you know,
it can come out almost 4 feet with all the extra cable that I have, and then the door also has this holes in it, right? So even when I close this, it's not completely shut. There's plenty of airflow.
no, don't get me started on the design of data racks, because literally they're supposed to. There's hot and cold aisles in
Hot and
data
cold
racks,
times.
basically,
Yes.
and you have to face the hot aisle towards each other, so it's
Yeah,
it's like every other type of aisle, and there is a science, and it is legitimately a huge thing in a data center. Like,
Yes.
it doesn't matter in like a one rack system, but
Shelves are
man,
frowned upon. A lot of places won't even
yep.
allow you to utilize shelves because it doesn't allow for a smooth airflow from front to back.
And it all depends on, and again, that depends on like the servers, because nowadays servers will have solid tops and bottoms and only have side ventilation, but it's because whenever I used to have to work in them for like, hours, 20 hours, 30 hours straight, I would literally have to walk from the cold aisle to the hot aisle, and sit down. Like, I got really good with my customers, but sometimes you have to hit a button and wait like 4 hours. So I would literally be taking a nap in the warm aisle. I'd have to like, oh, I gotta go over here and lay down on the hard tile floor, or removable square tiles, metal tiles that they have, just so I could keep warm, because man, those cold aisles were cold. Like, there's
The only place where your toes can be completely frozen, but yet you're sweating like crazy because you're still in the hot aisle with all the cold air running underneath in some places.
yes, exactly. It is that much of a difference. So those racks, that's why they're so expensive. They really are. They're engineered and designed, and they're designed to hold a lot of weight. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, no screws
Haterade
that you put
has
in there like
a
nothing.
rack. Haterade has a rack, and his rack is like collapsing on him or bending on him. So,
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
you know,
that's not good.
yeah. I
yeah,
think I
Um,
think I really sent him the link. I'm gonna turn on the projector just so you guys can take a look at that. So I think I may have sent him the link for that
yeah,
too.
where
and,
you
and Big Jack 79 in the comments mentioned the marketplace is a good place for racks, and I've seen that as well. And also had mentioned that Craigslist. And there's a secret that a lot of people don't know. If you're looking for racks, if you want an air conditioned rack, those are a lot of times cheaper to pick up than a standard rack because it's assembled into the unit. No one wants to tear it apart, and it's too costly to ship. So if you can find one in your local area, you can get a steal on an air conditioned rack.
there, I forgot
One thing
you.
that you didn't mention is, at least I didn't. You may have, but I may not have heard it. But your seating, where did you get? What seating do you have there? Is that and where did you get that from?
So I just have standard seatings that I got from some local store. So they're
So
supposedly
Ashley Furniture or something like that. Like
Home Zone. I think it's called Home Zone. We
oh,
got it from we got it from Home Zone. So it's amazing. We got it, and you know it has everything. It has, and I know I turned off the light because I turned on the projector, but if powered seating, you can do a full recline. It has USB charging and everything, just everything you need, right? Cup holders and everything you need in a standard home theater seat. So it works. It works as expected. I'm in no rush to replace them, except if Valencia sends me one. But I, I'm
Got to get
I'm
some
just
selfless promotion in there. Valencia, where you at?
But
It's
yeah,
cool.
I'm showing you guys the interface of the R-Evolution, and I know this is supposed to be coming out on the video, but it's a cool interface. Let me see. This is what I was saying about. Ooh, stop it. Let me mute it if
Yeah,
I got
no
it.
copyright.
Yeah.
Man, you guys got to be pretty large before copyright's even a thing.
They hit when we had
No,
a video. I
no.
think Red was
Yeah.
playing the trailer of Dune, and they sent the copyright strike for it.
Oh, really? Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Well,
And
AI. Yeah,
It
they
they
go
happens.
always.
back. They go back and they review the scrap. But see, what I was saying, right, is when you select a movie, it tells you, you can basically see, it shows you all the files that it can play. So you can see Dolby 9.1.6, Dolby 5.1, and HDR10 and UHD.
The
So
PD used to do that too, but when they stopped, I don't know what happened, but it would put all the Kodaks on there that you could play also. So this is and then give you the synopsis and everything else like that.
yeah, and the interface is really snappy. It's not, when they tell you it's snappy compared to even the Zidu, yes, it it moves better, and now I don't have a ZPD right here to compare, so
Right.
the only comparisons I can make is the
I mean, it
Zidu.
seems to be moving much faster. All you like it takes a while for my movies to load up. So on the Zapedi, but yeah, it seems to be definitely going through the movies a lot quicker.
Yeah, it does, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to just continuing to test it out, and but yeah,
Now
I did.
that's Android based as well, right? With their own
Yes,
UI.
Yes.
Can you go into the Android side of it at all, or is it locked into their interface?
I think it's locked, but let me play.
Wow.
It's fine, but let's see. Let's go out and go into the options. Setup. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to do much. The NVIDIA Shield, you know how you can get into the developer settings with the
Yep.
NVIDIA, do a lot of things. Yeah, I try to look for that here, and it doesn't have all that. So it's pretty much locked. I don't think it's designed for geeks like us.
There's probably a key shortcut to access it, like the Zadoux or the NVIDIA Shield, that will unlock the
Yeah, remote, right?
edit mode. Yeah.
Where you tap it a few times, and yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Up, down, left, right, left, right.
Why the BXD?
Not
Yeah.
that I'm dating myself at all, but
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I don't even know that people the first T code, right?
Yeah, but it is it's a good player, and look, the NZ7 just makes everything even way more pronounced. I'm gonna turn the light back on, so let me mute before I call her name.
So did you purchase the 3D emitter and the 3D glasses for the JVC?
No, I
Oh,
did not, but I plan to because I love my 3D movies, which was something else. Yeah, when you talked about the Sony, I don't think the Sony 5000 has 3D.
correct.
It does not have. That's something that my 325 ES did have, and Sony did, the 5000. And those are some of the things where, I felt like there's this NC7 still had certain things. The 5000 still feels like an entry level, right? It feels like an entry, which is what it is basically, but
what does
but let
something
me,
like that cost to unlock and utilize the 3D on it?
yeah,
I think
but
the emitter's like 199 or something like that for the JVC. and
really?
the glasses are you can buy the expand glasses from Amazon for like
Yeah.
$50, 40, $50, something like that.
Yeah. Are
It's,
there any specific 3D glasses that you have to get, or is just about anyone works? Are they active, like active 3D glasses, or what? What do you need?
RF.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot one fun thing that I built in the home theater. I forgot the star ceiling. You didn't even remind me about those.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So the emitter is $99 for the emitter. So the
Okay,
glasses
that's
are
not bad.
if you buy the JVC glasses, they're actually more expensive. I think they're like $179.
Oh, really?
But they're not needed, right? You could utilize third.
You can use other ones, yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I need to find the remote for the star ceiling. I have to. My controller is going 2-year-old. Shoot.
Let's see. Earbuds.
There you go. Star ceiling.
Star ceiling active.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So they make.
Yeah, all the pictures I've never even seen you with the star ceiling.
That is
Dude,
pretty cool.
telling
That's a
you
lot of
guys,
work.
I cursed so much building this thing that when I look at it, it pisses me off, traumatizes me. So, yeah.
So did you
That
buy
is
a kit with like one of those what is it like it's almost like a color wheel that spins around, right? To cause it to flicker?
So
No,
C-Big says that he bought the Expand 3D, but they did not work. Chuck, there's a couple different ones that you can buy, so you need to make sure you get the right ones. They make a couple different types. One is like I said, the RF, and then there's passive. There's so you just need to make sure you get the ones that work with your JVC.
yeah, but Scott, these are fiber LED lights. So these are
Okay.
fiber strands that you literally have to poke holes in the material. So I have a black velvet material.
Yep.
No, not velvet, cotton material, and then pass each strand of the fiber LED through it, and then in the same time use a super glue or glue to hold it so that it doesn't like literally slip back out because it's fiber, right? It's not gonna stay.
Right. And it all kind of goes back into like that one
That one
lighting
box,
mode, right?
yeah,
Yep.
controlled box. Yes.
okay. It was bugging me, but I found it finally. Was where you got your data rack? Was it tool lots or tool
Tool, tool loots,
lots?
tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's you can pronounce it tool lots, but it's spelled TOOLOTS.
Yeah, I don't care about the pronunciation, brother.
Not
Yeah,
yeah, I know, but but see, the thing is, if you tell someone tool lots,
yeah,
there's
they're gonna
two
look.
L's in the word tool lots.
Yeah,
So
I just
tool
send them the
lots.
link.
So yeah, I pronounce it tool lots, but
So you built this star ceiling. What was the process of building that? How did you? Because I know there's, what, thousands of fiber optic cables that you ran up there. I know they come in like a pack to where and
Yes.
an engine and all that stuff. But
Uh,
how did you build it to house the cable and stuff like that? And what's the material that you poke the fiber optics through?
so it's just a black cotton material. There are other people who say you can use like a spandex type material, but I don't see why you want to do that. And also, I bought the fiber that had 1,000 fiber strands, which I feel was stupid. But I ended up using only about 300 strands. So up in the roof, there's like 700 strands of fibers. Because
Just lighting up anything.
I was like, hell no, because yeah, this is like 300, and see how many. I think there's about 300 strands. That's what I have. Just
Okay.
And I was like, oh no, there's no way I'm gonna do
And does
that.
it have the shooting star capability?
Yeah, it has everything. It has shooting star. It's even you can even sync it with music.
Oh, okay.
So if I want to do music, so I think I have the shooting star setting right now. It has meteorites. It has a lot of settings that you can use. You can increase the speed. You can,
Sorry.
so there's a lot of options, but a couple of things, right? If I get to do this again, which my kids want one in their room, is I would use very light wood, maybe like a 1x6, something really, really light. Don't use any heavy wood. I think I used 2x4s for this. So you can imagine how stressful it was trying to mount it. Yeah, so, and then I think there's a different way rather than using just a single 2x8s, 2x8s like I did, you can build them out in sections, right? So I could have done, let's just say, 2x4s. So basically split it in four, right? And just build each section and then just nailed each part together, mounted it. It would have been a lot easier trying to navigate each smaller sections with the fiber than trying to do the entire thing, and, just get a friend to help me because I did all this by myself.
Yeah.
Oh, it was yeah. I don't think you shouldn't try to do this alone if you can, but I would say do it in smaller sections. And when you look at the professionals who do it, they do it in sections. They have
Yeah,
like
the
different
panels.
panels.
Yeah,
You know,
panels with magnets. They kind of put like a metal track up there, and then
yeah,
the panels have like a magnet that they stick to.
yeah. But I'll say don't pay anybody. Don't go pay thousands of dollars for this stuff, man. Just do it yourself.
Yeah,
Uh,
what would you say the engine for the 1,000 strings cost?
it was like $100. It's on
Oh,
Amazon, man. Got it from Amazon. It's
and
probably
then
way.
the light engine itself.
Yeah, the fiber and the lights come. The
Yeah.
fiber and the engine comes together. It's one packet.
Okay.
And then you just need a power socket at the top, above it, somewhere to connect it.
I see. So you need some kind of electrical outlet up in the top.
Yeah, so there used to be a light in the middle of the room. I basically just removed that and then converted the switch so it's plugged in there.
I
And
see.
then, yes, and then I also have like LED lights running right
Yeah, I
on
can
the
see them now
wall.
on the side.
Yeah, so if you look right here in the middle, you can see you probably won't be able to see it, but you can see all the additional fibers that I abandoned.
Right.
They just stopped like 700 of them. Like, yeah, you're gonna be there for a while because I'm not.
Because I'm not
That's
But
going
yeah.
down what I got.
no,
That's a lot of
yeah,
manual
you
labor.
want
A lot of
like
lights.
big brands. You don't need that much. And this is 2x8, so it's really big, right? 64 square feet, whatever they call it, but it's really big. So it like I actually did when I was building it. I actually recorded a video that I was gonna post on YouTube for it. But when I went to edit the video, I was cursing so much. So
You should have did a blooper reel of just swears and like throwing tools.
That
I was
reminds me of Tony. Tony had he built he had a video with him building a star ceiling, and like he got it like 3/4 of the way up, and all of a sudden the thing like
right.
90% of it just fell down on him.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
From build montage. It was he wasn't everybody that I've heard that have done one of these. There's been a few choice words.
Oh my
They
god.
look fantastic when they're done,
yeah.
but man, that's a lot
So
of work. So when you push them through, when you're actually like pulling the LED um, fibers through, do you pull them long, then glue them, then cut them off?
yeah, yes. So all of them, you can see the tiny strands. The good thing with fiber is no matter where you cut them, right,
Yep.
you can. It's still gonna light up. So yeah. So once
Okay.
you put it, you have to glue it because it's just gonna slip right back up, and it's gonna be frustrating. So Yeah, so you can basically see that these are all the strands, and I just cut them, and you can cut them in different heights or
Yeah.
lengths that you want. And I also try to do a pattern with it, but I was going for a different type of shape and just patterns with the lights, but
We're trying
you
to
know,
do the constellation. I know what you
yeah,
were trying.
yeah, we'll consider that an abandoned project. So, but it works. It's beautiful. But I like it. It's not going to come down anytime soon. There's not going to be any updates or upgrade paths.
So
Let's just.
fasten it with once you got it, once you built the 2x4 frame and all that stuff. What did you fasten? How did you fasten it up there?
So I used. You know how they have this. Let's see, what's the best? I used some kind of anchor. I don't know if I can show you here. See that? It's like
Oh,
those
okay.
hook,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah,
then drilled.
so it is easily removable then.
Yes, it's easily removable. But something else I would always say is make sure you know where your studs are, right?
Yeah.
Because if
You
you
want it
build,
easily removable, not followable.
Correct.
yes, and also too, right? You want it to align in the exact position where you want it.
So you
Because
have
if you
4 of those anchors or more than that?
or just for
Okay. Yeah, because I can see myself using my drywall lift to put, build it and then put it up there because I do want to build a star ceiling also. So
yeah, yeah,
I
I
can
would
see
say
myself using a drywall lift to kind of raise it up and me just anchor them into place.
that's the anchor right there. But yeah, I would just say use lighter wood, right? Don't do a 2x8 that I did because that's what I had. I didn't want to go to Home Depot and go buy,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
it
you can probably
doesn't
use like 1-bys for this,
Yeah, I'm thinking like
have weight. You
I
don't
don't
need.
know how thick the styrofoam is, but if I did one, I would look at like doing some styrene or
Right.
styrofoam,
Yeah, you
poking
can double. You can
yeah,
actually use duckboard and double it as a cloud.
yeah,
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 Mhm.
exactly. And then
you
just
know,
do a very light 1 by something
Yep.
frame and
Hmm.
then cloth around it.
Yep.
yeah, I
But,
think
I don't know how thick I don't know how sturdy is the fiber because all the fiber I've ever used is like hair basically, but,
It looked pretty
yeah,
it's
thick when you zoomed in. Can you zoom in and put your finger by it so we can kind of get an idea what the fibers look like?
so I mean,
we need a size
Oh.
no,
comparison.
Size
they're
comparison.
they're green hair. They're not
Okay.
hair, but they're
Oh yeah.
like
So
like
they're
the
So they're
yeah,
decent.
they're
Decent.
way
those
bigger than the fiber that I've ever worked with. They're
you
more
know
like
those things,
plastic strands.
That's what she said.
Yeah, yeah.
like those micro spaghettis, right? Those like really slim, tiny spaghettis. Like there's just something here to call them spaghettis. That's how thin it is. But when you're talking about 300, 400, 700 strands, right? You want to use something that doesn't sag because if you
Mhm.
look right here, you can see in the middle here, I had to put some staples on the cloth because I
And the
didn't think that
droop
that
down. Yeah.
it started sagging with the weight
Yeah. You may just want
fibers.
to. You could probably whenever you take it back down, you may be able to use like some spray adhesive
Bro, that
to.
thing is
Yeah.
telling you it's not coming down. Even if even if I know the house,
Oh man,
buy the
that's
house.
a lot of hot glue right there.
Well, that looks phenomenal. I mean,
I mean,
I really do enjoy the looks of your theater. You definitely got some character in there with your DIY movie poster, The Sound of Music, and
Yeah.
those of you that didn't notice that poster, that excuse me, that sound panel that he's got there, acoustic treatment. But yeah, that's definitely like the pops of character that you got all throughout the room. It's definitely brings some character to the room, and is not that there's anything wrong with an all blacked out theater, but in my in my personal opinion, I want to be able to use it for multiple things. My theater, Super Bowl, television series, something like that. That we don't have to turn all the lights off and still have some very good decor.
Ooh, create feedback. Sorry.
Oh, we're missing a bubble. What happened there?
Yeah, we got to bring Scottio up in there.
Oh,
Hiding out in the
yeah.
background.
You're hiding behind that star ceiling. That's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about
so
that.
Chuck had a question. I'm just going to share my screen here
Okay.
real quick. Let me do this. He had mentioned something about about his expand glasses not working. So this is the emitter for the JV. Oh, actually, what did I show here? Let's make sure. No, I'm sharing the wrong thing. Let me stop sharing that, and then I want to share. Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead and share that.
Okay. Let me.
That is the JVC glasses. So as you can see, they're $179. Well, you see it says RF right here, 3D RF. So that's what you need to be looking for. So I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to pull up my Amazon screen real quick. Let's do start share, go to Amazon, share. So when you look up the 3D glasses, as mentioned, you need to look for the RF ones. So you can see these ones say IR. So they're not going to work unless they say RF. So that's what you need to look for is like these ones right here, RF 3D glasses.
Do they have any in Tony Stark frames?
They may have some in Tony Stark
Wait,
frames.
which ones aren't in Tony Stark frames?
Right, they're all
I'm-
kind of they're close. That's why I was like, hey,
Well, like, eh.
you can have your whole theater room filled with people wearing Tony Stark glasses. That's
I
kinda cool.
like what Rob said from the AV Rant podcast. He because I'm not a 3D guy because I physically cannot see 3D. But he said what killed 3D was all the non-consistency of glasses. It's like everybody, it was kind of like the Blu-ray versus HD DVD, right? It's like
Yeah.
which do you want? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
passive or active or whatever.
Yeah. So if any 3D content was playable on whatever 3D glasses you happen to own and you liked to wear, it probably would have taken off a lot more. I don't know if it would have been, you know,
I think the glasses part just throws everyone off. Honestly, like
yeah. Well, and there's a lot of
I
people
wanna
that
put
don't wear
glasses
glasses.
on every time I watch a movie. Most people just want to sit back, not have to worry about a lot of that.
Yeah,
But the 3D
exactly.
is cool, right? But
I only wear the 3D glasses at 3D
Here's the
movies
emitter.
because it takes the blur out of the screen. Literally, I cannot see 3D. I'm physically impaired and I cannot see 3D. So it's kind of funny because some movies I can't get into the regular showing, but I can get into the 3D showing, so
yeah.
I'll watch it instead.
Yeah, one of the technologies that I like, as I mentioned, I went to Disney this week and they have the Finding Nemo ride there. I forgot what it's called, it's like Land and Sea or something like that. But they actually put a panel, like a TV panel, inside of an aquarium, and like an actual aquarium, and you can see like Nemo in 3D without any glasses or anything like that. It's pretty awesome. And then as the backdrop, you can see actual fish, the real fish swimming all around and stuff. It's really cool. So that the 3D technology without glasses is there. I don't know what Disney is doing for it, but it's
Well, I can tell you how with the new technology that people underestimated. You know how they had the see-through TVs?
yeah.
Okay.
Double layer and triple.
Now imagine 50 of those layered up. That is literally true 3D from our optical perception, because it's
Right.
going from, and you can change from. Now, of course, the impact of it is not going to be as impactful, because you're not going to be able to have it. I mean, I guess if you wanted to have like one screen, right in your face that's see-through, and then go, all the way back to 10 feet, then yes, you would literally be able to see 3D like it's in real life, except for something physically hitting you. But you could definitely get depth. And that technology is going to be implemented in some fashion, I'm sure. Like I said, just layering those clear panels. I mean, because that's physical, literal depth,
I remember
color.
reading something that they actually had to scale back the 3D effect in a lot of movies, maybe like 10 years ago. I remember going to Disney a while ago in the 3D, and it feels like it's right here, right? Like you can almost like
Right.
people were reaching out and touching it. But if you go now, you feel like it's scaled quite a bit back further. And I think they had to do that
Yeah,
for like a
depends on the
motion
movie,
picture too, or I don't remember, but I remember just like being like, holy wow, like it felt so close.
Hey, so that's the paint color. That's the color of the column. It's some type of true copper.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Yeah, that's
it's
Oh,
so
wow, that's totally different.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you
yes.
can imagine, what we were getting from the camera is this orange that's at the top.
Yeah, no, like
And
not
we-
even
we-
close. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the
It was
reflection
literally
of the
closer
light.
to the Home Depot orange on your screen right now.
exactly.
That color.
Yeah, I think it's the reflection probably of the
All right, I'm
light.
going to need you to repaint them orange, please.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
I know. Like that doesn't even count, man. See, now I don't like your theater because, man, I don't like brown at all.
You've been tricking us the whole
Ah,
time.
Yes.
you got a young kid. You're just trying to hide the dookie. It's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing.
man.
There's nothing on the wall over there. What are you talking about?
Oh man. Yep. It's copper, man, or something.
Okay.
but
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
totally different. If that's what it looks like, what you're showing right now on that screen,
Yeah.
that is not what we're seeing at all.
No, not at
Oh
all.
well, so
Not
I mean,
even. We're talking day and night difference there.
yeah, but yeah, I guess it
I
looks.
mean,
good
I'm
under the
sure it
light.
would still look amazing. It would still
Yeah,
give
it
that
does.
same punch. You know.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
just not as bright
sure,
as
the
you
doors are
guys
the
were seeing
doors
it.
red.
Yeah, the door is what you guys see. For some reason, it's what you guys see. But this one, I think, is just the way it reacts with the light, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah. You got to change your the K
exposure.
value, whatever the heck that is on your lighting.
camera, yeah,
True,
whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that.
I forgot the technical term. Even.
Well, it's only been episode 14 and 15 to show what's going on in the host theater. So
I know, right?
we finally
Yeah.
got it. We finally got
I
it.
I assumed you guys had already shown off your theater, right?
No.
Last week I showed off
we were
mine,
saving it. We would show Don's on at episode 50, so completed.
product.
We're
He didn't
rolling
want
in
to
on
show off
wheelchairs.
his. He wanted to wait until it was actually clean. He didn't want to copyright or break the show us your junk Joe and tell copyright. He was like, no, this isn't junk. I want to make it pristine and clean.
Don, just don't
No,
take
not
too much
really,
longer,
but-
man, because otherwise we're going to be showing a vintage theater.
I got
Yeah,
I have
mine
so
is
much
budget
stuff
friendly,
going on.
man.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I actually had a pretty cool. I was worried about my home inspection. I think I talked about this earlier because in Florida, uh, homeowners homeowners insurance companies were dropping people like crazy just for the risk for hurricane and stuff like that. And they actually, I've never made a claim. I've owned a house for probably, I don't know, 20 years. I've had a house, different houses, and never actually made a homeowner's claim, but they decided to drop me because of risk from, just from hurricane damage. So I had to look for a new homeowner's insurance, and I was worried about being under construction. And the guy actually came here, and he's like, all right, man, so let me just go around and take a look here. And he saw the YouTube setup to where I got the three screens and the lights and the cameras and all. He's like, oh, what are you doing? I said, I do a YouTube channel, myself and a couple people talk about home theater. He said, oh man, I just came from this awesome home theater and blah blah. He went on for like 30 minutes about this other guy's home theater and how he's building one in his garage and stuff like that. So
That's
so we walk into the home theater, and I show him. He said, "You know what, man? I'm not even going to take pictures of this. We don't even want them thinking you're under construction." So he didn't even. It was pretty cool. He didn't even take pictures of it,
that's
of
awesome.
the room
Yeah.
or anything like that. So I was like,
Yeah, it's
We're,
all
we're,
about
we're gonna
people,
we're going
man.
to we're gonna
You
edit
know.
this part out of the final video. So
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, and I
I mean,
mean, there's nothing that's really changing structurally on your
correct. Yeah,
stuff. So even then, if you wanted
yeah.
to,
I don't need a permit. I don't need anything.
yeah,
It's,
yeah,
I didn't move any
there's
load bearing walls or anything like that.
yep, exactly.
Hired a certified electrician to do all the electrical work, uh, because just for that reason.
Yep.
If it ever came down to where there was an electrical fire or something like that, I don't want them to come in here and say, "Hey, who wired this?" You know,
Yep. There's no changes
I,
in fire breaks or anything like
right.
that because that's our exhaust or whatever. But
yep.
yeah, it's cool that you're moving along. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, my buddy, and I want him on here
I'm
whenever he.
thinking about taking a vacation, maybe the first or second.
Oh man, dude, I wouldn't even say that. I would just
It's
say,
not a vacation if I got to work in the theater,
yeah,
but
I wouldn't say that because the minute you say you're taking vacation, someone else is gonna come in and snipe up all that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to put a full 7, 10 days or something like that
Oh
at it,
man,
and I
you
think
you
I
you'd annihilate that if you put that
yeah,
much time into it for sure. But
yeah. So
yeah.
I'm thinking about the first or second week of March.
Oh
Somewhere in
man.
there so that I can get it going. I just put this up on the screen there. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. We'd love to have you. You don't need a big theater. You don't need an expensive theater. Whatever you call a theater, we're just looking to showcase it for you. Come on and talk about what you got. Talk about what you enjoy about home theater. Even talk about some movies that you like. But once again, that's hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Uh, Reach out and we'll be happy to have you as a guest.
Yep. We
Well,
definitely
Ike,
will.
I really appreciate you giving us that tour of your home theater that's not orange. It's actually a brown copper. Wow. We
Oh
actually
man.
appreciate you, sharing your home theater with us. I'm really interested in the review that you got for the as I mentioned last week for the Arvolution.
Evolution. Yeah. I
And
should have it
then,
out this
you know,
weekend.
I'm gonna have to check
Hopefully
that
by
out.
Saturday. Yeah. It's turning out impressive. Yeah.
yeah, it's it looked very snappy. It looked like it loaded all the movies much quicker than my Zapiti does. Once it loads, it's fine, but
Yep.
once it'll snap through the stuff just like that one. But it seemed to pull all the metadata and everything much quicker.
Yep.
So looking forward to that video. Looking forward to the SVS 9-inch in-wall sub review also.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
you're
I need to
looking
reach
to
out
dial
to
those in and
Crozone.
integrate them with the other subs.
I
So
need to reach out to Paul so I can make sure my measurements and
you know,
all that.
maybe that should be something that we should do on a show. You know, how to integrate your subs. You know, maybe we can get Paul to walk us
Yeah,
through. Paul to
yeah.
walk us through
I'm
that
sure
on the
Paul
show.
has a few slides so he can walk us through.
Oh man, you're gonna have to get Scott to get the technical. Remember all the technical terms.
Well, both of you. Yeah.
It's like you just do this. Like what? Hey, yeah.
Just turn that phase knob on the back a little
Put it
bit.
all
That's all.
together. We
Yeah.
can get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
we can do that, man. You know,
Yeah, I think that would be educational for
it's
our audience.
educational,
You know,
right? So people,
to show how to integrate those subs, and you know, on a scaled down version. Paul, I know that you know
yeah,
you really go
Paul
into
do
it.
6 hours.
Paul goes into the depths on on stuff like this with over thousands of measurements in his own home. So, but yeah, if we could get something, you know, scaled down to where, you know, we can show people how to integrate, you know, different types of subs, that would be fantastic.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm just putting you on the spot. That's all.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Get
All
this
right,
in-
everyone. Well,
you
thank you for
place
joining the
it
show.
on-
I'm
you
sorry.
place
Go ahead,
it near
Scott.
the wall and then pull it out. And if it sounds better, just leave it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
everyone, thank you for joining the show. We definitely appreciate you joining us on this episode number 15. Special thanks to Scott Newby for joining us earlier, and we had some big hitters in the chat. Giles, Siphonics Audio, Youthman was in the chat. So thank you guys. Appreciate all the support. Until next Thursday.
Have a
see you
good
then.
one. Yeah. Bye.
Later.